Hey guys, and welcome to this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Dior Backstage Concealer, and this is not a first impression review. I already had the concealer for the past 4 days. So in this video I'm going to share with you my thoughts, I'm going to share with you my overall assessment, and I'm going to give you my tips and tricks on how to make this concealer work, because I'm seeing some negative reviews on this concealer. And to be honest, the first day when I tried the concealer I didn't like it, but after that I found a way to make it work, and I quite like it right now. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're new here and you love luxury beauty, be sure to join the fun by subscribing. I would love to have you here. I think that we have the best beauty community here of so many knowledgeable makeup lovers, and I would love if you become part of this amazing beauty family that we have here. If you have already tried the concealer, be sure to share with us your opinion and your short review. Let us know if this concealer worked for you or if it didn't work for you. This is going to be useful for our whole community. Just make sure to let us know also what skin type you have, because I believe that with foundations and concealers it's very important also what skin type you have, because these are the kind of products that usually don't work for everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I don't have anything on my face right now, and I'm going to start applying my foundation. In the meantime, I'm going to read you some of the claims of this concealer. I believe that the whole beauty community was very excited about this concealer, because I think that Dior's Backstage foundation is one of the best, the very best foundations out there on the market. So this one is a new Dior Backstage Flash Perfector concealer, and there are 22 shades available. I think that the shade range is quite good. So on the shades you're going to see a number, and then you're going to see a letter. The letters are C, it stands for cool, W for warm, and N for neutral. I think that this is going to make it very easy to choose the right shade for yourself. Your claim that this concealer is caffeine infused, full coverage, natural glow finish, and waterproof wear. Okay, so this is what we have with one thin layer all over my face of foundation. For foundation I used the Givenchy Prisme Libre foundation. Everything that's on my face is going to be in the description box. So the shade that I have chosen is 0N neutral. I have neutral undertones, and usually the N shades from Dior match my skin tone best. I was able to see this concealer in store. I swatched it on my arm, and I believe that I have chosen the wrong shade. The wrong shade because it is definitely much paler than my skin tone, probably if I was with my winter color. But in the past week I've had some sun. Even though I wear sunscreen, my skin has a little bit of color. It's not completely pale. I'm going to show you now how the concealer comes. So this is the bottle of the concealer. Here on top you have Dior. On the back you have the shade as well. And then I want to show you also the little brush. So this is the little brush. And then I'm going to swatch it for you so that you can see. So this is the shade 0N. Now keep in mind that this concealer is, in my opinion, this is definitely a full coverage concealer. So you have to match, you have to do your best to match your skin tone. I know that a lot of people prefer when their concealer is a shade lighter than their foundation or a shade lighter than their skin tone. I am exactly the opposite. I like when my concealer matches my skin tone exactly. I don't like when my concealer is paler than my skin tone, because then I'm going to have some difference, like this part of my face and the parts where I apply the concealer are usually going to be much paler, and this is something that I don't like. So I always like when my concealer matches my skin tone exactly. I don't like when a concealer is paler than my skin tone, and this is exactly what we have here. You can see that the concealer is much paler than my skin tone. Still, I'm going to make it work. Now, the first day when I tried this concealer, it didn't work for me. I even posted on my Instagram stories. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Sometimes it's very easy to give you some updates on products there, especially in stories. And the first day when I used the concealer, I didn't like it, and that's probably, I suppose, because I watched a few reviews of this concealer and I applied way too much. So this is a full coverage concealer, and I don't think that it's supposed to be applied directly with the brush on your face, because you're going to get a lot of product that you couldn't possibly blend. Now you can see the consistency of the concealer. It is quite thick. It's not exactly runny, or it's not like a lotiony concealer. And when I start blending the concealer, you're going to see now, you can see that I get a lot of spreadability. So you shouldn't be applying a lot of concealer. So I think that it's very important the way you are going to be using this concealer, because you can probably see now that when I start blending it, I can do my whole hand here, and it's going to conceal pretty well. So this is definitely a full coverage concealer. It's not like the Chanel concealer. It's not like the Dior Forever concealer. The Dior Forever concealer, by the way, is one of my favorite concealers. I really love it. This one has a lot more coverage compared to the Dior Forever concealer. I think that this concealer is going to be best for people who have normal to oily skin or oily skin. If you have, I think that you're going to enjoy this concealer a lot. If you have a lot of fine lines, I don't think that you're going to enjoy this concealer right under the eyes, because it might settle into fine lines if your under eye area is not very well moisturized. Now, let me go ahead and show you how I like to apply the concealer. Now, first of all, I do have a really nice under eye cream, which keeps my skin moisturized. And I'm 36 years old. I have some lines here. And so I'm going to take a little bit of the concealer. I'm going to apply just that much on the back of my hand. And this is all that I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ring finger, apply the concealer just a little bit, because a little goes a long way here. And then I'm going to blend with a brush. This brush is from the NG Hot and Flashy set. That's how I'm going to blend the concealer. So you have to blend quickly, because this concealer dries very quickly, sets into place, and after that, if you don't blend it, you're not going to be happy with the results. So I'm just going to be using my finger to warm the concealer, and then the brush also. Okay, so I suppose that you can see right here that it looks quite good on my skin. It looks quite good under my eyes. But then if I apply a little bit more, it's not going to look great anymore. And I have plenty left, which I'm going to squeeze a little bit of my foundation here. Just like touch of foundation. You can barely see this actually. And I'm going to mix it to make the color match my skin tone better. And then I'm going to apply this on places where I want to have a little bit more coverage. So that's how I like to use it. If you use too much, I believe that it's not going to work best. In terms of longevity, on me it lasts all day. I'm going to show you how it's going to look after 10 hours. And I'm going to go out, I'm going to run some errands, and then I'm going to make another check-in after 10 hours, because I'm going to spend the whole day outside. And you're going to see that pretty much it's going to hold on really nice, because I've already tested it for the past 3 days. I wore it, I was outside, and I'm quite impressed. It is a good concealer, but I don't think that it's for everyone. I think that this concealer is best suited for people who have normal skin, normal to oily skin, normal to combination skin, oily skin as well. I believe that people with oily skin are going to like this concealer a lot. But if you are dry, if you have mature dry skin, dehydrated skin, I would say that the Dior Forever concealer is going to do a better job. But still, this is a very high coverage concealer. I believe that, yes, it is developed to be used professionally, and I believe that probably it is developed in a way that it's going to be used backstage. So backstage, we have models that are usually in their late teens and early 20s. Usually this kind of people at that age, they have very juicy, very plump skin. So we can afford to use this concealer without any problems. But if you are like me, if you are in your mid-30s or above, I believe that you just have to adjust your skincare when you want to use this concealer. You just have to make sure that your skin is very well moisturized, and a little goes a long way with this concealer. Now, when I blend the concealer here on the back of my hand, and if I go in direct sunlight or under lights, I can definitely see some very tiny reflective particles. They are not visible on the skin, but it does have this reflective little, very tiny reflective particles that are undetectable once applied on the skin, but I suppose that this kind of somehow balances the color of the concealer, or balances actually the finish of the concealer, so that it doesn't look flat matte. So it doesn't look flat matte on the skin, but definitely if you have dry skin, you might find this concealer to be a little bit drying. So for me, this eye cream really helps to prevent any creases and to prevent concealers from settling down into the fine lines that I have under my eyes. So I really enjoy this eye cream. So if you have a good eye cream, really well moisturized skin under the eyes, I don't think that you're going to have any issues with the concealer. I think that it's great for covering really severe dark circles, but then you have to learn how to use it. Now, I just want to give you a close-up of the packaging along with the ingredients, and pause the video so that you can read the ingredient list. So overall, I don't think that it's a bad product, but it all depends. If you have dry skin, I don't think that this is the best concealer for you. I believe that this concealer is going to work best on someone that is in their early 20s. Still, the skin is quite juicy, quite plump. And also, if you have oily skin, I believe that you're going to enjoy this concealer a lot, because it really stays into place a whole day if you apply it correctly. But again, even if you have oily skin, I wouldn't apply it directly from the brush. Probably you could apply directly from the brush on the body, because this is a face and body concealer, and I believe that it's going to do a really nice job on the body to cover some marks, to cover some discoloration on the body, and then you can apply a little bit more. If it's on the body, you can use directly the brush for applying it, but on my face I just wouldn't use the brush. It doesn't work, because the amount of product that you're applying is way too much, and you couldn't possibly blend it, and it's not going to be even, smooth and nice. And also, I find that if I apply too much of this concealer, then it doesn't wear well throughout the day, whereas when I apply just a very small amount of concealer, maybe even mix it a little bit with the foundation that you have, so that you can completely match your skin tone, then it looks beautiful all day long. Hey guys, so this is approximately 8 hours and a half later after I applied the concealer. Today I was outside, I tested the new Natasha Denona pastel palette. This is what I have on my face today, and I want to show you how the concealer looks. Now it definitely is wearing out right here, but then overall you can't say that I've worn the concealer for 8 hours. Now you can see that my eyes are incredibly red at this point, because I have been outside and I worked on a computer, so my eyes are incredibly red right now, a little bit irritated, and I need to remove the makeup immediately. But let's go ahead and have a look at the concealer. And this is also a place where I applied the concealer. You can see that still everything looks quite good. So it all depends on the moisturizer that you're going to use, on the base that you're going to use when it comes to this concealer. I have combination skin, so probably if you are dry, it's not going to wear that beautifully throughout the day for sure. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. Take care, bye!